Hi, it's Nick again with CU Imaging. We've been hard at work on our software since the launch of the Axion scanner, so I'd like to show you what's changed since our first introduction video and give a little closer look at the tools available to you in Axion Direct and Axion Flow. As a quick refresher, Axion Direct is the capture software. It's used for everything related to controlling the scanner itself, like the film winding, the light source, and the camera, as well as saving the scanned images and soundtracks. Axion Flow is used to create the final output. It crops and stabilizes the scanned images, extracts and syncs optical soundtracks, or imports and syncs magnetic soundtracks, and processes them into an output video format of your choice. Starting with Axion Direct, there's a number of tools available to help you get the most out of your scan. It's important to make sure you have good focus before starting a scan because poor focus can't be corrected later. The Axion scanner's lens is focused manually, but we've included a focus assist tool to make the process much easier. You simply select the tool, and then click anywhere in the image to zoom that area to maximum resolution. You can then unlock the focus ring on the lens and adjust the focus. The number here in the corner shows the sharpness of the image content. As you sweep the focus, you can use these numbers to find the point where the image is the sharpest and set the focus there. Most old films will have some amount of color shift or degradation, so there are also several tools to help you with the color of your scan. The light source is fully adjustable RGB that can be controlled manually per channel, or with the color picker wheel, or with the auto light source color button that considers the average color over the entire visible area. If you have a film with a heavy color shift, adjusting the light source color helps balance the captured channel intensities before digitization, allowing for better use of the image sensor's dynamic range and reducing the need for extreme digital corrections later. You can always look at the image while making adjustments to judge when it looks right, but if you prefer to have a more quantitative way to evaluate the image, we also have the Color Scopes window available. This shows RGB waveforms, a channel-selectable RGB histogram, and a vector scope to help you analyze the color content of the currently displayed image. Similar to the light source color controls, you also have color channel gain controls for the camera module itself. This includes an auto white balance button that considers the entire image area just like the auto light source color button. Alternatively, if you've identified an area in the image that you would like to be the reference for your white balance, you can use this eyedropper tool with a resizable selection area box to directly select the reference and adjust the white balance accordingly. When you've finished your scan and you're ready to move over to Axion Flow for output processing, you can simply choose the Push Current Project to Axion Flow option in the File menu to automatically open Axion Flow and import the current project. Once in Axion Flow, you can start processing the output using the various tools available here. You can stabilize the output video by placing the reference boxes on the edges of the perforations, with control over the size of the search areas as well as how they're prioritized. Of course, you want the perforations visible in your overscan for this stabilization, but then you can crop your output video area using this red box, which can be freely resized or locked to a specified aspect ratio. If your film has an optical soundtrack, you can use this yellow box to select the soundtrack area, using the dashed orange lines as a guide to align to the frame lines. You can even zoom in to get the alignment as close as possible. You can select which type of soundtrack your film has, either optical soundtrack extracted here in Axion Flow, or a magnetic soundtrack that was recorded during the scan, and Axion Flow will sync it with the video for the output. Be sure to check out our optical sound and magnetic sound videos for more info about those workflows and capabilities. Options found here under the Settings menu give you fine control over your optical or magnetic soundtracks for things like selecting processing algorithms, noise reduction, and filtering. The Output menu here gives you full control over your output products. You can choose between different video codecs, hardware encoders, or image sequences. You can make multiple selections at a time with control over cropping and scaling for each selection. For example, you might have an archival policy that calls for a full-resolution DPX sequence as an archival copy, a cropped full-resolution ProRes 422 as a master copy, and an H.264 video scaled down to 1080p for an access copy. You can select all of those options and process them simultaneously as a single job. If you want to check your settings before committing to processing the whole job, you can use the preview function to generate a short section of the film in all of your selected output formats. Films with optical soundtracks will even give you an audio preview window to visually check your sound settings. Finally, Axion Flow also offers a number of utilities that you can use for working with your audio and frame files, like an SMDS resampler, batch image file format converter, and a bulk file renaming utility for manipulating the order of frame files. I'd also like to give you a sneak peek at an upcoming feature we're working on for Axion Flow, the color adjustment panel. The color controls offered when you capture the scan in Axion Direct act in the analog domain by changing light color or camera gains that affect the whole image at once, which is great for getting as much information out of the film as possible during the scan. However, whether you're trying to restore color film with faded color dyes that fade differently in different densities, or trying to color grade shots in fresh film, you may need digital color editing tools to address the fine details. This panel will introduce some basic digital image manipulation tools like exposure controls, white balance, color and tone controls, as well as direct manipulation of luma and RGB curves. As you can see, this gives you the ability to make powerful, non-linear adjustments that aren't available in Scan. Once you get things set the way you want them, you can save the settings to a profile that you can load and edit later in another project. If you have a third-party LUT editor that you prefer to do your color correction work in, you can save a 3D LUT from your editor and load it here in Axion Flow to apply it to your project. This will allow you to streamline your processing workflow if you have a high volume of films with similar color correction requirements that you don't want to have to import to third-party software every time. We want to make sure that when you own an Axion scanner, it'll be a tool that you can continue using for as long as you need it. For that reason, commercial perpetual licenses of Axion Direct and Axion Flow are included in the price of the Axion scanner, so you'll never have to worry about recurring subscription fees or license renewals that have become common in all types of software lately. Both programs are continually receiving updates, and we've already added several features based on customer feedback and feature requests. So thanks again for joining me for a closer look at our software features and recent updates. For more info about the Axion scanner, check out our website at cuimaging.com and stay tuned for more videos about the Axion scanner.